Hi everybody, I'm Mallory and I'm a yoga teacher, and this video will demonstrate a few different postures we can do if you're a person that sits a lot during the day. Maybe you have a very sedentary office job or you do a lot of driving, any sort of thing like that. So this is the second video that I've done about people who do a lot of sitting in chairs. The first video I've done is also a really nice place to start, and I'll have the link for that video in the description. So let's get to our first posture. So I'm going to be doing a few different variations of pigeon pose to really open up the glutes and the piriformis muscle, which is a deep embedded muscle in the upper part of basically your butt. So it's part of the hip area. So I'm going to take a yoga block. I have a cork block here, but any kind of yoga block that you have, any kind of material is fine. The more dense, the more intense the stretch will feel. You can also use a bunch of phone books or VHS tapes or any square things that you have laying around the house to be of good use to you. So I'm going to start by taking the block and placing it on the ground like this, and I'm going to sit on top of it. And in my first video we went into the importance of alignment of spine, so if you're curious about more details on that, you can see the first video. But I'm going to sit nice and tall like this. Good. When I'm all aligned, I'm going to bring my knees out in front of me and I'm going to maintain that shape. From here, I'm going to bring my hands behind me a bit and start to draw my left ankle on top of my right knee, and I'm flexing my left foot here. I'm going to walk my right foot in as much as I can. I might have to adjust my seat a bit. So from here, if you're feeling particularly open, you can hold on to the front of your right shin and continue to send the chest forward. Notice how I'm not slumping at all, right? Shoulders are down the back. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in and breathe out. And you can do this for about 20 breaths on each side. You can start to lower down more and more depending on how much flexibility you have available in your body while you're doing this. Definitely do more and more each day. So, when you're ready, you can switch sides and just sort of shake out that first leg. And then gradually make your way to the other side. And again, this right foot now is on top of my left knee, and it's flexed. And if you're not able to bring your hands to your knee, you can just stay here, working the way through. Or again, you can maybe interlace the fingers and draw the torso towards the shin. Nice. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can relax in that left leg or your bottom leg so that you're not really keeping it very active. You want to have the active feeling through that right top foot, nice and flexed. Inhale, feel your belly expand. Exhale, feel the air release. And again, 20 breaths or so on each side is great. From here, you can start to release again and just shake out the legs. Good. So, we're going to come into another variation of this stretch where I'm going to do the basic same thing, except I'm going to be reclined on my back. So I'll be able to go a little bit deeper. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to come all the way down onto my back, and I'm going to come so that my ankles are pretty close to my hips so that I can actually touch the ankles here with my fingertips, you'll see. So it's not too far away, right? Just right here. Then, just like we did before, left ankle stacks on the right knee. I'm going to take my left hand and press open the knee to get really a nice big external rotation of the hip. And then I can stay like this, or I can draw that right knee in. Maybe I interlace in front of the right knee or behind the thigh, right? And relax the shoulders, always keeping that nice flat spine. Keep the left foot flexed, of course, and just continue to breathe. In through your nose, out through your nose. You might be able to get a little bit deeper as time goes on. And then when you're ready, just start to switch sides. So again, bring that right foot onto the left, press the right knee open. One side is always going to be more open than the other, it's okay. And then when you're ready, start to draw that knee in. It's a nice figure 4 shape essentially that you're creating. And then start to come out when you're feeling complete. I'm coming all the way back up to sit. So moving right along, we're going to come into pigeon now on our belly. This is a pose that a lot of people have questions with alignment, especially in yoga classes. They're always curious if they're doing it exactly right, so I'll take my time in explaining it. So I'm going to start from tabletop. You can also come into it from downward facing dog if you're familiar with that pose. So from here, I'm going to draw my right knee towards my right ankle, towards my right wrist, and I'm going to move forward a bit. I'm going to slide my left foot back. So before anything else, I'm going to just check back with my back foot to make sure that it's exactly in the middle of my mat, or exactly in the middle of, it's not too far off to one side or to the other, it's just right behind me evenly. From here I'm going to tent my fingertips and send my heart up. I want to feel like I'm lengthening through the spine so that I'm getting long. I'm going to take another deep breath in. And then exhale, I'm going to start to make my way down. Now this is a nice opportunity for you to also use a yoga block again, or a pile of phone books, or a stack of VHS tapes. You can come onto the forearms just like this. Notice how my spine is long, right? Not coming into it like this. That'll strain your back. Nice and long. And maybe I can come into it a little bit further. And then if you're feeling open enough, you can start to lower all the way down like this. Now, of course, if you want to go deeper into it, there are ways. You can start to make your leg a little bit more parallel towards the front of the mat as much as you can. And then same idea, just start to lower down nice and easily. And this pose can get pretty intense, so you want to take your time here. Don't crush your body into it. Now I'm going to get into the specifics of the hip alignment here. Now my front leg right now is my right leg. A lot of the time people have questions in yoga class about if they're coming off to the one side too much. Oftentimes misalignment in this pose would be that you're sitting off on your right hip here, and you're not really getting a stretch essentially. You're kind of just sitting down on your right hip, and your hips are totally misaligned. You want to think about coming into a square shape so the hips are both facing down, and that you want to think of sending that left hip down even more so than the right, so that you're really getting a stretch on the outside of the right hip. That way you start to come down evenly and have a nice flat spine while doing so. If I was to come on my right hip while doing this, I'd sort of be coming off to the side like this, and I wouldn't really be serving myself in a good way. So when you're feeling complete with that, you can just shake out the right leg, and again, 20 breaths or so on each side, and then switch sides. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll stay here for a short while, and again, you can choose how far you want to send your leg in front of you, how parallel you want it. I'm checking back at my right foot to make sure that it's in the middle. I'm going to inhale, raise up, and then exhale, gradually start to come on down, nice and slow. Another great hand modification here is you can stack your fists and draw your third eye, your forehead, located in your forehead, onto the top fist. It's really nice. Or if you don't really feel like coming down, you can always spend a few breaths here, really just appreciating this little bit of a back bend. It's nice. And then when you're ready, you can start to sit off to one side and come on out of it and just shake out the leg. So those were some really nice variations of pigeon that you could take. I'm going to go a little bit further now and talk about a restorative bridge pose. It's a really nice way to help relieve tension in the sacrum, which is the flat bone of your low back. It can get very painful when it's misaligned due to a lot of sitting. So just like we started off earlier, I'm going to come all the way down onto my back and make sure that my heels are close enough to my hips so that I can touch them like this. I'm going to take the yoga block and press into my feet to lift my hips and send the yoga block underneath my sacrum. So the way I know if it's under my sacrum is that it's going to feel like an essential good release for the low back. It's not a strain or feeling like I'm doing any work. This is a restorative pose, so I'm really allowing the props to do the job for me. So if it's on your tailbone, it might feel like a lot of pressure, and if it's too far up, it might feel a little bit painful. You want to basically have it in the small of your back, so in between the low back and the tailbone. I like to personally bring my right hand to my navel and my left hand to my heart while I do this pose, and close your eyes and breathe. You can be here for as long as you want. It's a really wonderful stretch, and it's a gentle way to open up the spine. And you can be here for as long as you want. And you can also take any level of the block. So if you want to come up a little bit higher, you can come up onto the tallest if it's available. But I always recommend starting on the lowest so that you'll know where your body is most willing to go. And then when you're coming out of it, like I just did, I'm going to lift my hips up and remove the block, and then slowly lower back down. And I'm going to send my knees towards one another, open up my feet wide so that I'm coming into a knock-kneed shape, and I'll just be here for a few breaths. And then from here, I always recommend coming into Shavasana for a few breaths if you have time. If not, I understand everyone has busy lives. You can just come right out of it when you're ready. So I hope everyone can integrate some of these poses as well as the poses of the first video to help relieve with tightness and stress in your back and hips from sedentary lifestyle. And I'm going to continue doing more poses like this, so hopefully they can all tie in together to make a beautiful practice for you to develop on. So thank you very much for watching. Namaste.